Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Mr. Candles. You can take my candle, but you cannot touch the chest hair. Or you could, actually. I don't know. I never really thought of myself as so particularly hairy, but looking at the webcam, it's like, whoa, hairy. Oh, wait, I'm making a video, aren't I? And now I'm totally distracted. Hi, everybody! How's it going? Okay, so today I want to try and talk to you guys about, very quickly, which of course is never very quickly for me, is it? What I would change about World of Warcraft. Everyone has been kind of talking about classic, and they're all excited for vanilla. And some people are like, I don't want vanilla. And I made a video talking about how I just don't care about vanilla. And some people were like, what? He doesn't care about vanilla? But it did get me thinking, like, what would I change about World of Warcraft if I could? What is there anything from vanilla that I would bring into current WoW? Is there something that has never been in WoW that I would put into WoW? How would I make WoW better? Like, what is my issue with World of Warcraft? And because I have very set opinions. Like, I know exactly what I would do. For the most part, these are things that I've thought about for a long time. So I figured I would put in my 2 cents. So it's kind of related to the whole vanilla thing, but not really, because well, I'm not talking about vanilla per se, but what I rather would change in retail. So here we go. All right, first of all, I would remove arenas. I would remove arenas completely. I think arenas was always kind of a failed attempt at turning the wild madness of an MMO's PvP into something that they could have it as an esport. Because to make something an esport, you had to make it in a controlled and fair environment, and that's not what MMO PvP is about. And I just always found arenas boring, predictable, and I hated how arenas were this phased, instanced experience that were completely out of the story and the universe. Because to me, MMOs are also about the universe and immersion and lore. And while PvP and kicking ass is really awesome, it has to be in the framework of the existing universe. That's the whole point. Otherwise, just play Counter Strike. And arenas is just like this weird little arena, this little boxing ring deathmatch thing. Is like, what is going on? Why is my character here? How did I get here? Who am I fighting? It's just so stupid. I don't like arenas. Remove the arenas. Battlegrounds, I feel, could stay, because Battlegrounds, at least, and especially when Battlegrounds first came out in WoW, every battleground had a backstory, and every battleground had it was two different factions that you were assisting based on your whether you were Alliance or Horde, and there was a reputation that you would gain, and then when you get exalted with that faction, you would get their special like mount or whatever. So I think the concept of Battlegrounds, at least, is more workable. I would change Battlegrounds a little bit. I want to bring back the reputations. And I want to make Battlegrounds more immersive and more story oriented. And I'd love to see more NPC aspects in the PvP. I'd love to see some sort of like, I know old Alterac Valley just took too long. It was stupid, but this new Alterac Valley is just gross. I wish we could have some. I want some sort of compromise. I want Alterac Valley to go more to where it used to be, where like the quests and stuff actually mattered, but not all the way back. And then I guess I would make it like a separate queue, so people would, because if it's much longer than other battlegrounds, people wouldn't want to do that. I understand. You would separate it, and I would love if battlegrounds had some sort of effect on the game world itself, a small effect. Kind of like how, like Hellfire Peninsula, you take the towers and it gives you like a buff and stuff. Something like that. Nothing crazy, small. and it would be like worldwide maybe, uh, or maybe like, or at least current expansion where I don't know exactly how it would work. I'm thinking like whichever faction on your server or server group is winning more matches overall. Like your entire server group or server, your faction would get a small buff. Reputation grind got maybe like gold, something so that people would give a shit, and also to make it feel like it's connected to the world, because it has to matter outside of that phased instance. That's the whole point. And I want rewards, more interesting rewards that are tied to the universe and the game outside of just PvP gear, which is stupid. Like the removal of PvP gear is one of the things I actually kind of agree with, but we need something else now. And prestige rewards are cool, but they're all about you. It's just you. I want something that brings and connects the PvP to the world. So I think that would be cool, and more like reputation-based rewards for individual battlegrounds. Maybe like quests within battlegrounds. Anything to make battlegrounds feel like it actually is part of the world, and it's not phased and it's not irrelevant to the bigger picture of the game. Because that's what makes it an MMO, and that's what makes something feel like, oh, I'm affecting part of the story. I'm helping these dwarves, what's it called, for Loch Nodan or for Ironforge, Also, I wish that there was some way. I wish there was some sort of leaderboard or ranking system for individual players in battlegrounds. Like right now, there's ranked battlegrounds, which is that's all great and all, but if you're not interested in doing something with that much investment and finding a whole battle group, but you just want to queue for a battleground, which and there's nothing wrong with that. It's great, but it feels very irrelevant. The prestige thing is nice and makes you want to do like battlegrounds at all, but you don't care how well you do, and you don't know how well you're doing. There's no individual score. There should be, and it could track your combination of healing to like damage dealt, kills, assists, and give you a total general score. And it wouldn't, and like that, it wouldn't give you a reward. It shouldn't give you a reward. So if there's no reward, then it does like the math behind it doesn't have to be perfect because it's just for your EPing, just so you get an idea of whether or not you suck. I think that would be nice, and that's what I would do for battlegrounds. Ranked battlegrounds are rated battlegrounds, I should say, are in a good place right now. And while I would like battlegrounds overall to be more connected to the world and the universe, as far as rankings go, ranked battlegrounds is a fine if people are interested in that. Now, world PvP needs a lot of work. In BFA, they had this new flagging system, which I'm actually very excited about, because this way, when you see someone who's flagged, you know that they are open for combat, as opposed to right now where it's like I'm stuck on a PvP server and well, I don't really want a PvP, but I don't have a choice. And then you kind of feel bad sometimes when you kill people who are just questing or world questing. So when you see someone who's flagged with the new system, it's like, oh, this person, they're flagged, so I don't care that they're like 10 levels under me or they're busy. They allow themselves to be flagged, so they put themselves in that position. So fair game, and vice versa. You can't complain when someone rips your asshole open because you had that opportunity to turn it off in town. And also when you're just trying to do your thing and you're not in PvP mode for the world, you turn it off. I think that's smart. But the only things that I would like to see is rewards for World PvP, incentives. Now, Blizzard said something about giving you a reason to have it on, but we'll see if they stick to it, and it's probably going to be a joke. But I want a real reason to keep it on, but nothing crazy. I'm thinking something like 10% more. Oh, excuse me, gold and reputation gains. and it has a stack with everything else, of course. Uh, because if it's just like XP, then who gives a shit? Because once you're max level, then it doesn't mean anything anymore. Uh, so gold and rep, like gold drops from mobs, gold is a joke in the anyway. And reputation actually matters now with Paragon, which I think they're probably going to carry through. I don't know, but even if they don't carry through, reputation's still useful. But it's not game breaking. So as long as it stacks with everything, 10%, like 10% to on top of everything else. Because if it doesn't stack with stuff, then again it's trash. 10% rep in gold would be nice. But also, I wish there was more incentive to defend and attack towns or strongholds. I know Blizzard's kind of scared of that because it's like, oh no, my quest giver's dead. Oh no. Like, I wish they would make town guards stronger. Like, make attacking a town really difficult. But at the same time, if you did so, there would be a much greater reward. Back in the day, you would get like honor for killing town guards, and people abuse the shit out of that. But there are so many easy ways to make this work without just going to either extreme. I'd love to see, like right now there are achievements, achievements for defending your capital and killing the enemy faction leaders. Where you get the achievement and you're done and that's it. I feel like faction leaders, when you kill them, they should drop something crazy. Chance to drop a mount. Each faction leader has their own special mount they might drop. Um, and a chance to drop a weapon enchant. And every expansion, it would change, or no, they would add another one because I hate when content's removed. I hate time sensitive stuff. But they would add a new one, so you wouldn't like, oh, I got it, I don't care anymore. One per expansion maybe, and also they would have to buff. See, it's a two-sided coin, whatever. If they make it more rewarding, they have to make it more difficult because it's too easy. They have to make the faction leaders more powerful, much more powerful. Give them like some royal guard that spawns in their throne rooms that actually kick ass and stuff. And also, players who defend capital cities should get more rewards. Some sort of like when you kill enemy players, maybe in capital cities, you get 100% extra, 200% extra honor. I don't know. Something that people give a shit about. The idea is there should be incentive both to have your PvP flag on and to attack strongholds. But there also should be incentive to defend strongholds, and strongholds themselves need to be more challenging. And as the game gets, as players like get stronger, the guards and the leaders should get stronger also. It should never be a joke. So it shouldn't be something that people just have on farm, easily at least. And I think that would really make the world be more immersive and more exciting and more fun. Okay, so that's all what I would do for PvP. What I would do next? I hated flying. I hated flying, but Blizzard started doing this pathfinding thing, and I recently earned my pathfinding in Legion, and you know what? I kind of like this system now. I feel like it's a good compromise. I hated flying because it kind of killed world PvP, but the way that flying is now is it's extremely difficult, or at least grindy, extremely grindy, if not difficult, reward that, and also it's time locked, so you can't get it no matter what until the expansion's at least more than half over. Um, and when you finally get it, it feels so amazing to be able to fly in areas that you were in before that you couldn't fly. Like it's different. Like if you fly somewhere you've always been able to fly, or you learn flying and now you're in an area other people couldn't fly, it doesn't mean anything to you. Like when you learn mop flying, you don't give a shit because unless you played mop back in the day before there was no flying, when you weren't allowed to have it until you got it at like max level, it doesn't feel different. But when you have played hours and weeks, months in zones without flying, and then you finally have it, you will always appreciate it in those zones because you can't forget what it was like without it. And it just feels like something you earned. And when you earn it, then you don't mind. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel like cheating because you paid your way. You know, you paid your way. You ran through the gauntlet in blood, and it just feels so good, especially in certain zones that Blizzard intentionally designed to, be horrible to maneuver around in, like High Mountain. I hated High Mountain, and now to fly around in it, it feels so good. So I actually am okay with flying now, as long as they continue with this pathfinding system. Like in BFA, same thing. New zones can't fly, have to wait, half expansion. You got to earn it. Takes a while. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I think flying can stay. Just keep the Pathfinder achievements. And I also really like how it's not automatically unlocked in previous expansions. For example, in WoD, if you never played WoD, you don't get to fly. I quit WoD like a lot of people did, so I never earned pathfinding in WoD. I need to go back and get it one of these days. I can't fly in WoD, other people can, and that's great. They earned it. It's not like, oh, it's old content, so everyone gets it now. That would have made it ass. So that makes it good. That makes it worth. So we keep this current system. Blizzard's doing it right, and then we'll keep flying. Um, I would like to add more random NPC connected events in WoW. What I mean by that is like I'd like to see occasionally at random intervals groups of Horde or Alliance uh, NPCs spawn and go to attack either like some demons or even like the other Alliance troops will go to attack a Horde town, and you can intercept them or you could help them raise the town. I'd love that. If it's too PvP-ish, if they could make it just so they go from one area to attack, an area that doesn't matter. And then if you don't help them, they would lose. If you help them, they could win. You'd get some sort of reward maybe. But even if you help them, they could lose. Uh, and it wouldn't be so much about the reward. It would just be about making the world come to life. I think one of the issues WoW's had is making the world feel alive. And you cannot discount how powerful and how awesome it is to see like scripted, randomized events that you can also affect in a certain way, with NPCs fighting each other, NPCs going somewhere, like having a routine, talking to another NPC. There are lots of little things like this already in the game, but it's mostly just NPCs walking around and they'll just talk to like another NPC in a shop and then walk out. That's okay, but I mean something bigger and something outside of town. So when you're in the wilderness and you don't expect it, like little wandering patrols of soldiers rescuing a little kid from some gnolls or something, and it's all scripted, and maybe they'll win or lose on their own, so that could be random too, and then you could interact with it, and you could assist, and there might be a small reward, maybe an achievement for almost like the evolution of world quests. Like it's kind of like a world quest, but they happen whether or not you're there, and it's more about world building than it is about the reward. So for people who don't give a shit, they can ignore it, but I think that would be awesome. And I want to see things like that everywhere. Because to me, WoW definitely needs to feel more alive. The NPCs, like special effects and explosions are nice, but nothing beats seeing NPCs doing things without you and living their own lives, and talking and fighting and dying. I want more of that in every way possible. Hmm. Moving on. Get rid of LFR. Yeah, you heard me. Fuck LFR. I mean, I'm not even going to go into why. Just get rid of LFR, okay? I actually like Group Finder. I think the Group Finder serves a good purpose. I also like the whole pre-made system. So now it's almost like yelling in trade chat again, only you have this tool that you can use to connect to people for pre-made groups. But LFR has to go. Next, I would get rid of heroic raids. Get rid of heroic raiding. There should be two difficulties for raids. Okay, two. Some people think there should be like no difficulty. There's just one. Just you enter the raid. I think that's too extreme. There is definitely a differentiation of skill between groups of players, and I think you should at least attempt to cater to either extreme somewhat. But there are people that just that they want to do the raid, and then there are people that basically base their self worth on defeating the raid, and I understand both ideals. But right now, there's just too many different difficulties. It's confusing and it's silly. I think we need to combine them a little bit. There should be normal raids and heroic or mythic. You can carry whatever you want. So there's raiding for normal people, and the difficulty for this raid should be like, I would say, in between normal and heroic is where the standard raid should be. So it should be harder. Normal raids are really just too easy right now. Heroic is probably a little too much for casual raiders. Combine them, find that happy medium, and also this raid would be flex like normal and heroic are right now, and then there would be heroic or mythic, whatever you want to call it, which would be the set raid size, and that would be your server only, at least until Blizzard says it's okay. And that should be, well, I mean, I think mythic raids, my new mythic raid, should be as difficult as it is right now. I wouldn't make it harder. I think the difficulty for mythic is fine. People are like, oh, whatever random guild beat it in 2 days as soon as it came out. Yeah, well, these are the best players in the world who also have no job or life and exist to do these raids and probably abuse substances, and they've been on the PTR, and they take things to the extreme. You should never. It's like trying to measure your one mile, like your ability to run a mile, measuring yourself against the best Olympic athletes. It's stupid. You're not an Olympic athlete. Well, neither are these raiders, but you know what I'm saying. Mythic raids are difficulty are fine. I see no reason to make it more difficult. I would leave that alone, and I would just remove LFR because I don't even know why it exists, and combine normal and heroic, and it would be better for so many reasons, in so many ways. Just that it's funny how they've pruned abilities for classes like crazy, but apparently pruning or streamlining their raid difficulty system is just beyond them. I'm waiting for them to add another one. What's going to be called God tier extreme mythic, mythic plus raids. I don't even know, man. But yeah, it got to go. Something has to change. Something's got to give. 4 different difficulties for raids is just so dumb that I don't even feel like I need to really go into much more detail because it should be really obvious why it's stupid. I also think that they need to chill with the stupid amounts of ridiculous mechanics in raids. I know other people have talked about this before. I agree. Like Blizzard assumes everyone uses DBM, and then they try to make it so that even if you use DBM, it's still complicated. But that's a mistake because then if you don't use DBM, you're totally fucked. And it doesn't need to be solving complex mathematical equations and logic puzzles. It should be just about I think raids should be about teamwork, uh, reflexes, being able to play your class well, and you're having good gear. It shouldn't be so much extreme like pre knowledge, like all these pre battle require like it require there shouldn't be such a requirement to know the fight beforehand because there's so many ridiculous mechanics that if like it's like you got to study for a test, and it shouldn't require like these custom weak auras and like secret mods that guilds make for themselves to help them manage timers and stuff. When you have like guild secret like weak auras, scripts and stuff to help you with a fight because you need that, then there's something wrong. And I think that there would be less pressure on Blizzard to make crazy mechanics, and they could just make things just more linearly difficult if we had less difficulties also. What else? Mm. Woo! I want to say I really liked the AP grind. I did because I love leveling and I love that feeling of continuous advancement. The games like ARPGs might have. I always thought it was kind of weird that you just hit this level cap and WoW, and that's it. The only way to get stronger is get lucky with a gear drop. There should always be a way on top of the random gear drops, a way to, if you want, to grind a linear, like flat increase in your power, but at the same time, it's a really really small increase. Um, and they're doing something with that BFA. You get the gem now, you get the necklace, so we still have something like the AP grind, but I wish we could just get rid of that. We shouldn't need that because that's tied to an expansion. Why can't we just have some kind of like Paragon level system? You can keep leveling forever after you hit the max level, but it just goes into like giving you +1 to a stat or something. Then the casuals will cry. Well, casuals will cry if you fart on them. I mean, what am I going to say? It could be +1 to one stat. It could be the most minor possible increase. Just give us something so we feel like we're not wasting our time. And if the casuals cry because they can't play much, and they're like +5 strength behind, when we have a ring that gives 1,000 strength, then I don't even know what to say except don't listen to those crazy people. Okay? It's not the actual number that matters. It's just the fact that it exists. Just knowing it exists makes it fun. So I would really like to have some sort of continuous progression system, however minute, but always there. So always you can keep going, and I throw that in, because this is what would I do to change the game, not what So this is my dream list. It doesn't have to be logic practical per se or something that could ever happen. Um, I don't want to get too much into story per se, like story specifics, but I will say it'd be really nice if Blizzard stopped making our favorite characters go crazy and then die. Like you don't have to kill everyone, Blizzard. I promise. They can go off on a space adventure. They can just be busy or just ignore them. Okay? I don't know why Blizzard has this obsession with making everyone that we like go crazy and or die. I'm tired of seeing dragon aspects die. I'm tired of how they ruined the dragon aspects. I'm tired of how they love character assassination. Every expansion, they pick a character and make them act totally different and ruin them. It'd be really nice if you stop doing that, Blizzard. Okay? Okay? I don't know. They have like a dartboard. They throw a dart at a character. It's like, ooh, who's going crazy this expansion? Woo-hee! So we can cut that out. It'd be nice. Um, I, oh, and you know what? Can you please bring back the freaking passive bonuses for gathering skills, Blizzard? Because not everyone likes crafting, okay? And yeah, you made crafting shit. Good for you. But you made gathering skills shit too. So, they're both shit, so I still want to just gather, and it'd be really nice if I could get like a little passive bonus. Again, it could be really small, but just give me something for being a gatherer. And also, if you could make skinning not dog shit, like what is up with the broken claw and the fang that's worth like 5 coppers? Is this a joke? Is it some sort of insult? Like why? Like can you just don't even give me that garbage? I couldn't give that crap away. What are you doing? So if you could, make crafting materials from the different gathering skills worth at least the same a ballpark when I try to sell it on the auction house, and not even so worthless that I don't even want to vendor it, that'd be really great. And give me my passives gathering skills back. Oh, and make the engineering mounts sellable on the auction house and usable by all, because why? Why do you give like other crafters mounts that anyone could use, but then like where's the logic? Either everyone gets their own or nobody. That's not fair. That's bullshit. Oh yeah, engineers get the gyrocopter. All these other classes get mounts, but anyone could use them. So engineers like the only crafting skill worth using if you want a mount that only you could use. That's stupid. And there's no logical. This makes no sense. Either you should have made all the mounts crafting specific, or none of them. Or at the very least, you should have made like one mount that only that crafting profession could use, and then another mount that they can sell. So then it's fair. Like they should be fair. I know tailors get the carpet that only they could use, but it's just so random. Like blacksmiths get that chain, but they can sell it to everyone. There's no blacksmith only mount. Are we supposed to pretend those mounts don't exist? Because I still see people riding them. Is it too much to ask for parity among the crafting skills? And like overall, it's too hard to balance. I understand, but asking for parity just for something specific like mounts, because there are so few and it's so easy to do, is that too much to ask? No, it's pretty. It's so easy and it's so like you can see it in a spreadsheet. So WTF, mate? I mean, now I'm just nitpicking, but yeah, that's stupid. I would fix that. I think that's pretty much it. I'm just nitpicking now, but the big things that I would do to fix WoW is streamline the raid experience, get rid of arenas, make battlegrounds more connected to the world, make world PvP more rewarding, both from an offensive and defensive perspective, and make the world feel more immersive and alive. We need more world building. We need more like independent scripted story sequences and stuff. And stop making people go crazy. And that's pretty much it. Overall, I'm pretty happy with WoW. Oh, and my linear progression system for unlimited leveling. Yeah, gotta have that. That's some good shit. Oh, and one more thing. No more time-sensitive content. Do not remove anything anymore. Blizzard seems to have gotten better with this also. They added that bronze dragon NPC that takes you back in time to do different zones whenever they changed it. I really like that. When they did a new Kara, they left old Kara so you could do that. I really like that. So it seems like they've learned from their mistakes. But I'm still salty that I can't do old Stratholme, that I can't do old Skolo, that I can't do old Dead Mines, because I fucking hate new Dead Mines. I wouldn't like Kata was actually pretty good in my opinion, but the reason I hate Kata is because it took away all this old content and it didn't add on. I hate when MMOs replace. Yes, the world moves forward, but that doesn't mean I can't see what has been before if I want. I should be able to. So never, ever remove, always add on. Let me, the time walking and bronze dragon stuff is the perfect tool, and they've been doing that. But keep doing that. Never remove. And that's it. That's what I've changed in WoW. But overall, I'm very happy. I love a lot what they did in Legion. I love the pruned abilities. I really enjoy playing a Death Knight now. I love how they did the tanking. I like the group finder overall, aside from LFR. I like world quests. I like the AP grind. I guess I'm one of the crazy people that I love WoW as it is right now. There are just a few little things that I would change, mostly in the PvP spectrum. All right, as always, thanks for watching. See you guys, and remember, always eat